suppose you say, is there any proof of it? Proof is you are that. You need to experience it for yourself to validate it. There's no other validation. Every intellectual gymnast I can offer to you, you can knock it out. You can kick it out saying, just deploy, it's your words. The answer is experience, my friend, experience. That is why, remember I started my today's talk by saying the reason why I was drawn to Swami Vivekananda is, here is a man, not just philosophizing Advait and Neti and Iti and all that. I've heard that, I've read that. It doesn't really appeal to me because there's no, if you like something I want to put my grab. And I can't grab that. So the only thing I could do is, here is a man who is talking about religion, the idea of the spirit, not as an intellectual game, but actually something to experience firsthand. And he insisted that you can't be truly religious unless you experience or get a glimpse of the spirit yourself. That is the only proof of this particular enterprise. You must touch base with it. Look, the reason why I'm so passionate about this subject is, this is what drove me, this is what brought me into religion. I wanted this to be experiential for me. If I could not experience this thing I'm talking about, it has no value. And I would say the same to every youth, every youngster, every thinking Hindu. Look, my friends, you heard this gymnastics I'm offering to you. It may appeal to you, it may not appeal to you. You are open, I'm open, saying if it doesn't appeal to you, avoid it. Look, openness of this tradition. But I'm saying, unless you touch it or taste it yourself, you can truly not believe it. You will not, how can you just live on words? You need to get that thrill, that experience. And the youth love experience, they love this kind of, if you like, spiritual. So I'm saying explore it. There is a great deal there to explore. And when you get a glimpse of it, even a little glimpse for an instant, you will be hooked. Your life will be changed, transformed forever for the better. And that's another proof of this enterprise. You'll be transformed for the better. You will know it because you'll be living life far more intensely than you ever thought possible. Because here at the moment we think we are living such a good life. We have went on holiday and we did this. This is nothing. So look at the scenery of the Alps, they told Vivekananda. Look at these Alps. Vivekananda said, look, I have actually experienced the spirit. Alps are all right. But I've experienced the spirit, my friend. I've experienced the spirit. The beauty of that experience, the kick you get, is actually out of the world. And this is not just airy-fairy. You meet people who are actually based in experience. And when they talk, when they open their mouth, you know the spirit speaking, taking on a human form and talking to us. And this is what drives me, this is what catches my attention, this is what actually attracts me. Unless I can experience it for myself, it has no value. And I would say the same to every youth. Until that time, just keep you on the sidelines, on the back burner saying, well, it may be true, maybe not true. You need to touch it.
Spontaneously, to be quite frank with you, I'm not as learned as these youngsters are in the new way of thinking. But my question is going to be is directly to you, is that have you experienced it yourself, the spirit? And as you say, if you have experienced it, we got very charming youngsters here. We'll all join you in your journey.
You see, this gentleman said that I'm not that learned and I cannot ask such very lovely kind of philosophically oriented questions, but he's asked much more tougher question than that. In a very nice way, he's kind of sneaked in a very tough one. You see, rather than sound arrogant, it will be very arrogant for me to talk like this on air. Let me simply say this, that if I was not truly, if you like, established, or if I had not had a glimpse of this thing called the spirit, I would not be doing this work. There is no way you can be that passionate or that charged up, that convinced about your enterprise unless there was some backing to it. So I think I will say just this much, and I have no special medicine that I can dish out or some bookie, ગુજરાતીમાં કે છાંટું તમારા ઉપર કે તમે બધાને આધ્યાત્મિક અનુભવ થાય તો ડાન્સ કરવા માંડો. Unfortunately, I have no such thing. The only bookie I have got is called Vivekananda. It's a tough bookie કારણ કે આને digest કરવા માટે આખી જિંદગી વહી જાય. That's why I'm flying off in Gujarati, because it's something very close to my heart. So I have no miracle cure. In fact, look, I'm telling something interesting. If anybody offers you any miraculous way of progressing spiritually, always be suspicious. This thing comes with tremendous hard work, requires tremendous discipline over perhaps many lifetimes, not even one lifetime. So I'm not putting you off saying, look, chaps, you need to come about 4 or 5 times on this earth before you're ready. But I'm simply pointing out it comes with tremendous hard work, and it's an individual journey. So if somebody promises you the moon, saying, yes, just come here, sit at my feet, and I told you, be always watchful, avoid, because you are going to be taken for a ride. So this is a tough journey. I don't know, maybe I'm just fortunate. I don't think I'm very clever, but I'm just perhaps fortunate to come across this giant called Vivekananda, who inspires and kind of drives me at the moment. And this is what I'm suggesting to all. I'm saying, look, what is your prescription? This is what worked for me. It may work for you or it may not work for you. I have no idea. It depends on your individual path, your individual temperament. And this is a lovely, but the thing is this, suppose you are given, if you like, this encouragement. There is a possibility of experiencing the Spirit here and now and not something airy-fairy. And somebody can experience this. So if that assurance in a way drives you, makes you more enthusiastic to take on this journey, so be it. Because I am telling you, this is not something that is reserved for just a special, an ordinary person. Look, I am very ordinary in every sense. Can touch base with it. So why be put off? It's a tough journey, but so be it. Look, life is fun, because if it was so easy, everybody could just get, moksha in 2 minutes. It will be so boring. We'll all be kind of, off. It's nice to go through this journey, go through the ups and downs, struggle as well. It's part of the fun. Because once you get the treasure after a bit of struggle, it's much more fun, it's much more enjoyable. So journey is tough, and I have no easy prescription that I can dish out, except the one that kind of suited my requirement and my needs, which is, if you like, this marvelous person called Swami Vivekananda. And I guarantee you one thing, if you study his life or study his teachings, if it doesn't grab your attention, if you are serious and sincere, you are in trouble, because he will grab your attention. Because everything he promotes and presents is so well thought out and so suited to our own age and our own time that it will grab you and it will stir you up and it will drive you. One word of warning, just when you take medicine, there is a little leaflet that comes with all the medicine. The chemist will ask you to read it. And the warning that comes with the medicine is, it will tell you about the side effects. Remember, it will tell you, you'll feel dizzy, watch out, don't drive, don't use heavy machinery. In the same way, let me also give you this thing that comes with Vivekananda. If a droplet of Vivekananda's teaching enters your life, enters your system, you are in real trouble. So I'm telling you, this is the side effect. It will not let you sit still. Your life will be in a whirl. So let's just take the medicine, you go a bit gaga. If Vivekananda enters your system, even a droplet enters your system, you are in trouble for the rest of your life. You will have no peace. I'm telling you how hard this prescription is, how tough. It will stir you up. You have no rest. Because it will stir you up until you discover your identity with the Spirit. It won't let you off. It won't leave you alone. Once it enters your system, it will drive you. And it's a very rough ride as well sometimes. But so be it. But it will take you to your destination. He won't let go. This Vivekananda, if he enters your system, he won't let go. This is what he used to say. He said the aim of this Vivekananda is to tell the whole of humanity, not only tell them, until the whole of humanity discovers his identity with the Spirit, this Vivekananda will not stop working. Continue to inspire humanity to rediscover its identity as the Spirit. And until every individual recognizes this, experiences them for themselves, this Vivekananda will not stop working. Continue to inspire in charge of humanity. See, this is it. So the health warning comes with this medicine called Vivekananda. Watch it. If he draws your attention, captures your attention, you are in trouble for the rest of your life. And the living example is here, I'm telling you.
Call myself a Hindu.
Actually, this question was asked by Bhavesh, but then he fired a missile. He's prepared a young missile, said, okay, let's fire. You see, the issue is this. If you are a non-theist, means not believe in a super personality called God in the heaven, does it mean that you are no longer a Hindu? It's a very, very lovely question to ask on camera, because this would frighten people off, saying, oh my God, I'm no longer a Hindu because I can't believe in Shiva or Vishnu or Mother Goddess and all this Ganesh. This is terrible. I lost everything that I was holding so dear. It's a risky, it seems to be a risky enterprise. Look, This shows that you have not really seen or understood the comprehensive nature of Hinduism. It is very vast and very broad. Look, if you study the Upanishads, they are not talking of Shiva and Vishnu and all that. The Upanishads are talking about your essential nature as the spirit, as Atman, or the essential nature of this creation as Brahman. Principle oriented. There was no, the gods and goddesses came afterwards. If you look at the Rig Veda and Nasadiya Sukta, they make a very funny quip about God. They say this creation came into being, maybe God came afterwards. You say, oh, this is terrible, you're reducing God. It should be before the universe. No, no, no. See the openness of the Hindu tradition. So all that, when you ask this question, it shows that really you not understood the breadth of vision of Hinduism. It started off in a very non-theistic mode. Theism came as a ploy. I'm telling you. So if somebody said, oh Dilip bhai, you can't be Hindu now because you say that you will see God not in some external being, but as lighting up whole of humanity. You can't be. I said, I am purest of Hindu. This is an interesting thing to issue. How do you define a Hindu? Because sometimes people say, unless I subscribe to a particular theology or a particular sectarian movement within Hindu, then only I'm a Hindu. Or I must visit a temple regularly. I said, nonsense. You can be a perfect Hindu without visiting any temple, without ever stepping into a temple. You can be a perfect Hindu, perfect practicing Hindu. See? So because we have this very narrow idea that unless I subscribe to this God and offer my prayers to the God and visit the temple and take some fruit with me or something, I am no longer Hindu. That is purely a cultural aspect to your religion. You may or you may not decide to do that. It in no way means that you are any less Hindu. Do you see? So the principle-oriented Hinduism I'm presenting is not something I'm conjuring up just for the requirement of modern society so that it can relate to science and rationality. This is the most ancient way of the idea of spirit came into being. Do you know how it started? It started with this ancient, and I mention this name again because it thrills me, an ancient sage called Kapila. He was just saying that, look, before we make sense of the world, oh, what is all this about? Let me first sort myself out. Who am I? What is the validity of this subject? Who the heck am I? Now, you see, this is a very interesting thing, because unless you check out your instruments, your capacity to make sense of the world, what is your capacity? What's your strength? Unless you do that, the way you relate to the world will be kind of half-hearted, because you're not taking into account your own limitations or your own stature. So this is what the ancient Greeks, we resonate with the ancient Greeks in many sense, whether we borrowed from them or they borrowed from them, this is by the way question, but we resonate. The ancient Greeks, the same thing. Man, know thyself first. See, this is how it started. First sort yourself out. Who the heck are you? What is your capacity? Because if you are a dunce, then any dunce-like answers will satisfy you. Then it's hardly worth bothering because you are a dunce. But suppose you are very sharp, and I'm sure all of you feel, especially the youth here, feel we are sharp, we are going to sort ourselves out. So once you begin to recognize your own validity, your own credential, then you can really ask challenging questions. So the journey went inward to saying, who am I? What is my nature? And this is Kapil, ancient Kapil. The whole world should really pay tribute to this man. Through this introspection, he managed to find oh dear, I am much more, much different from what I thought I am. Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. That means he's stuck with his mental mode. That's him. His body mind tells him. Hindu said, no, we are neither the body nor the mind. We are different from the body and the mind. They are both linked up with each other, but they are both secondary. I am something that is occupying the body and mind, but I am different. And was this purely intellectual? He was drinking cups of coffee in his time. I don't know whether they had coffee. Caffeinated coffee gives you a kick and you cannot think high things. So was it that? No. It was through introspection. He was able to experience. It was not an intellectual gymnastic exercise. It was experiential. Remember, I keep repeating the word experiential. You need to experience this stuff. Otherwise, you won't be. Whatever I say will not really touch your heart. Unless you get a glimpse of it, you can't really believe in it. How can you believe it? Don't believe in it even. In fact, I'm telling you. Otherwise, you'll never try to find out. So it was this Kapil who experienced. He said, and you know what? This experience is so dynamic. First time you're free of your body and the mind. Even the mind appears like we're fluff. You seem to transcend the mind. Not that you are saying, oh, you become mindless or kind of idiot. But you transcend the mind. You see yourself as this, and this is a first encounter. We see this film, Encounter of the Third Kind, where you get aliens coming in. This encounter of the first kind, where you come face to face with yourself. You go, this is good stuff here. That's the experience. This Kapil experienced this. This is the beginning of religion. So the way Hinduism started was not with appeasing some god in the heaven. It was by discovering your essentially as a spirit. So if somebody says, oh Dilip bhai, if you don't believe in going into temples and cracking coconuts and all that, that you can't be Hindu, I say, who said that? Look up your own Upanishads. There are no gods and goddesses there. They are talking of spirit, Atman, Atman, left, right and center. And this word has been lost. You know what Vivekananda said? He said, unless you kind of discover this idea and able to dish it out, present it in such a simple manner that even a 5-year-old boy can understand, I am Atman, I am different from what I think I am. This will empower everybody. This is the power of this idea of Hindu philosophy, which is principle-oriented and not personality-oriented. These are not egoistic comments. These are very dynamic comments. We demolish this. He sees the ego as a fluff. Imagine, he says ego, fluff. I am the spirit, I am not the ego. Ego comes with the body and mind encasement of the spirit. But I am different, and this is something to touch base with. When you get that, this is, so if somebody says you are, because you don't believe in gods and goddesses, you can't be Hindu, who said that? I believe in Atman, I believe in Brahman. That is the fountainhead of Hindu tradition. The rest came afterwards.
You talked about life and death cycle, and I come up with the question, what is the meaning of moksha and what is the moksha in Hinduism?
Yes. So the other way of defining a Hindu is, of course, this idea of belief in cycles, as I said. Cycle of creation and destruction, kalpa. So we agree with cosmology. Except the cosmology said whether the universe will be crunched up or will continue to expand forever, we don't know. They're open. You see, this is the openness of science. But Hinduism says our introspection suggests there's a big crunch as well. After the Big Bang, there's a big crunch. We don't know how many billion years afterward, but it will come. This is the Hindu theology or Hindu understanding of cosmology. The second thing the Hindus must subscribe to be Hindu, and this is, I'm just taking it up from Swami Vivekananda's teaching, is to say that you believe in the cycle of life and death. That we all, this is called theory of reincarnation. This is inbuilt in all the Indic religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all of them will have it. Slight variation in the language when it comes to Buddhism, because they say we don't like the word reincarnation, we use the word rebirth. We say good for you, you can use different words. There's a technical reason for it. I won't go into that. So this idea of reincarnation inbuilt in the 4 Indic religions, and it was very visible in the West. You know, the Western philosophers, most of them, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Pythagoras, they all believed in reincarnation. So this is not that new for the Western civilization, but it doesn't matter. For whatever reason, they gave it up at one stage. So what is this reincarnation and what is the destination for it? Because if you are going to be born again and again, and there is no end to this cycle, then it will be like a prison. That will not be a very nice thing. Even though it's nice to be born again and eat that chocolate cake again and again. You know, I'm fixated on chocolate cake, I have problems. And I'm getting them sorted out next week, but I won't go into that. So you got this fixation of being born again and again and going around. Surely, if it's permanently like that for infinite, this will be hell. Please remember, if they ask you to eat chocolate cake every day, in no time it will become poison. You will hate it. You'll hate the sight of chocolate cake. If you are forced down, I mean, this young boy is saying, no way, not with me. But anyway, I'm telling you, you know, you should watch that film, you should watch that film Matilda, where that boy, you know, that was asked to eat the big chocolate cake. And he gulped it down, but he was struggling. At the end, he was struggling. So if you are forced to eat chocolate cake, for many, they'll be tiresome. So the idea is when things become tiresome, and you become mature to realize something is not right here, even though I liked, but I had enough. And when that maturity arises from within you, not from without, somebody saying, yes, you must find moksha. It won't happen. You won't find, you say, no, I want chocolate cake, no moksha. But when that, if you like, the stirring up comes from within, see, this is the unique thing. Hinduism never imposes. It's that from within you get the stirring up. You want to resolve the human condition. What's going on? I'm coming here again and again. I'm getting tiresome. Because I have to go in the nappies, and my mommy whacks me on the bottom, and I keep making wee-wee everywhere, and they keep whacking me, and this is tiresome. And they make me say, go to the, you know, learn the times table again and again. I had enough of that. So when the stirring up, I'm lightening up, but when the stirring up comes from within, they want to resolve the human issue, human condition. And that stirring is very deep. Then you become, this is the beginning of your religious journey. Until that, you will never begin the journey because you are happy with the chocolate cake, so why bother? But when you get fed up and they're stirring up within saying, I want to, what is going on here? There's something weird going on here. And that comes from within. Then you become serious about really. Otherwise, you can't be serious. And we understand. We say, no problem, carry on. Go around the merry-go-round one more time. But then he says, we are getting dizzy and we want to get off the merry-go-round. And when that comes from within, you begin your real journey, serious journey to resolve your human condition. When that starts, this is real religion, real spirituality. beginning real serious journey from within, stirring you up. And then you try and discover a resolution. That process is called searching for moksha. And the word is very interesting. Moksha comes from two Sanskrit roots, moha, kshaya. I want to get over the delusion that I like chocolate cake. That's what it's saying. So again, chocolate cake comes everywhere. So it's the idea of resolving the human condition and saying, why am I fixated on chocolate cake? And that is called end of delusion. I'm fed up of this delusion this gives me. This is fun. It's not fun. It's a delusion. I want to transcend the delusion. Moha kshaya, end of delusion. That's how it's defined. So you're beginning a journey to sort yourself out. Many people feel that this process perhaps is kind of like killing yourself. In fact, sometimes when they're trying to portray Hinduism, the Hinduism want to run away from life and achieve moksha, means the life is burdensome, run away, almost like kill yourself. It's terrible. We never say stuff like that. We're simply saying this is all right, but it's not all right enough. We have to transcend this kind of limitation. That's what we are trying to do. We are not running away from life. We are saying life is getting boring now. Even this colorful life is getting tiresome. That's called searching for moksha. So it's not a running away. It's a very negative thing. It's escapist. We are not escapist. We're simply saying it's getting tiresome. Then you begin the serious journey. And what happens? You see, the journey only can end when you discover why do you keep chasing after chocolate cakes? And I'm not using ruder things, there are other things the boys are chasing after, but I will not go into that. Why do we do that? Because we feel we are unfulfilled. There's something lacking in us. That's why we keep chasing after these things. The desires keep coming up and we chase after things because we think something is lacking in us. And the only way you can overcome these desires that are unfulfilled, they continue to pop up in us. Have you noticed? All of you, we fulfill 2 desires, 10 more come. It will come. It means, no, Dilip Uncle, it will not come. Once I go to Oxford, that's it. Oh, it will come. After Oxford, then I want that job in the top bank. You'll do, and then if I can just become the chairman here, it'll happen all the time. And if I can only change my wife, that will come as well. But you carry through. It continues throughout. So there's no end to it. So now let me sort this out. If I can sort out this issue of desire, then I can resolve my human issue, human condition. When you sort deeper, this is the answer. Desires arise because you think there's something lacking in you. Do you know what is lacking in you? You are essentially the spirit, pure and pristine and complete, without any blemish. But you are trying to rediscover it in this material world and you are struggling. That's why you pay a price. You get desires. Unfulfilled desires continue to crowd your life. When you discover your essential nature as the spirit, desires cannot arise because you are you're fulfilled. So moksha means discovering yourself as the spirit, pure and pristine and fully, there is nothing missing.